Have you ever wondered what it's like being around a toxic person? No, not a person that's toxic, but an actual toxic person. If that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, maybe it will after you hear the story about Gloria Ramirez, aka the Toxic Lady. Before we carry on with this video, please make sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Gloria Ramirez, a 31-year-old resident of Riverside, California, had been diagnosed with cervical cancer. On February 19, 1994, roughly around 18:15 p.m., she was rushed to the emergency department of Riverside General Hospital. Her heart was beating too fast for her body, and she had an abnormal breathing pattern. The medics injected her with diazepam, midazolam, and lorazepam, but this did not seem to have any effect on her condition, so they attempted to defibrillate her heart. But there was something strange about it. Medical workers treating her noticed an oily sheen on her body and a fruity, garlicky smell coming out of her mouth. Susan Kane, a nurse at the scene, began withdrawing blood samples from Gloria's arm for further testing. She passed on the sample to Julie Korchinsky, a medical resident who noticed manila-colored particles floating in the blood and an ammonia-like smell. At this point, it was clear they were dealing with something strange. The things that they were discovering were far from normal. But what followed was equally weird and unpredictable. Soon after passing on blood samples to Korchinsky, nurse Susan Kane fainted. Korchinsky wasn't feeling too well either. She felt nauseous and lightheaded and left the trauma room. Shortly after, Korchinsky fainted. But these two were not the only ones to pass out. Respiratory therapist Maureen Welch, who was working in the same room, was the third to join the list. A total of 23 people became ill and 5 were hospitalized. After seeing this, the hospital authorities, who were not sure what the reason might be, ordered the evacuation of all emergency departments. A small team was left behind to stabilize Gloria Ramirez. After 45 minutes of CPR and defibrillation, Gloria Ramirez was pronounced dead at 8:50 p.m. Cause of death? Cardiac dysrhythmia due to kidney failure from cancer. Her body was emitting fumes and perceived to be so toxic that it had to be kept in an aluminum box for a week before an autopsy could be performed. After a proper investigation was launched by the California Department of Health and Human Services, they came to the conclusion that the strange occurrence in the emergency department on that night was nothing but mass hysteria. But was it so? Korchinsky, who had been exposed to the body of Gloria Ramirez, spent 2 weeks in the intensive care unit. She suffered from breathing problems, muscle spasms, developed hepatitis, and a vascular necrosis, or the death of bone tissue, in her knees. In an interview, she claimed, "It was the worst pain I've been in my life. It shot up my thighs and down to my ankle." Julie Korchinsky had no pre-existing conditions that would put her in the place she was in. The bone destruction in her knees was so severe to the point that she was unable to move without a wheelchair for 3 months after the incident. A case of massive osteonecrosis. The Riverside Hospital approached Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory to conduct a detailed investigation. Upon conclusion, Livermore had found amine, nicotinamide, and dimethylsulfone in Gloria's body. They proposed that Gloria Ramirez had been self-administrating dimethyl sulfoxide to treat her pain. Dimethyl sulfoxide is a substance with a garlic-like taste and is available in hardware stores. This substance could have caused urinary blockage in her system, which led to kidney failure. The report suggested that the oxygen provided by the medics on Gloria's arrival at the hospital possibly reacted with dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO, to form dimethyl sulfoxone, DMSO2, a substance that crystallizes at room temperature, which explains the crystals in her blood. And lastly, the electric current that passed through her body while under defibrillation converted DMSO2 into DMSO4, a poisonous substance which probably caused the symptoms in the emergency staff. Gloria's family disagreed with the reports published by Livermore. According to them, Gloria never used dimethyl sulfoxide. Her family decided to perform an independent autopsy 2 months after her death. But at this stage, her body had been decomposed to the point where her heart was missing, which made it impossible to perform the autopsy. Every time a report was put out, it was contradicted by solid evidence. Overall, 3 autopsies were performed on Gloria's body, and none can explain the bizarre case. The report, published by Livermore, was a mere hypothesis, a chemical possibility perhaps. It received a lot of backlash from the scientific community, and it's still a matter of debate and a mystery. So what do you think happened that night? Please leave your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below, and subscribe to our channel for more similar content. Thank you for watching Unbelievable Facts. My name's King Percival, and remember, it might sound unbelievable, but it's true.